So I've plucked poems for you that seem to have associative resonance with each other. There is no narrative. So you may rest your inner detective that hunts for meaning or answers. Let this half hour of performance poetry wash up on your sands and recede. Who knows what will remain? May it give you pleasure. The Sorceress is a poem I grew up with. It's as familiar as a Mother Goose rhyme, and as a story of Aladdin's Lamp. In the grocery store, on the street, out of the corner of my eyes, it seems like I catch people reaching for a thing. Is this Aladdin's Lamp? Is this where I get my wish? Here? Or here? Maybe over there. The Sorceress. I asked her, is Aladdin's lamp hidden anywhere? Look into your heart, she said. Aladdin's lamp is there. She took my heart with glowing hands. It burned to dust and air, dust and rolling thistle down, blowing everywhere. Follow the thistle down, she said, till doomsday, if you dare. Over the hills and far away, Aladdin's lamp is there. She took my heart with glowing hands. It burned to dust and air, and smoke and rolling thistle down, blowing everywhere, blowing everywhere. Follow the thistle down, she said, till doomsday, if you dare. Over the hills and far away, Aladdin's lamp is there. Aladdin's lamp is there. Aladdin's lamp. Stonehenge and here. At 15, my parents accepted my summer plans. Babysitting money, saved. $2 a day budget, set. Passport in hand with a Heathrow round-trip ticket too. Any objections? My best friend has permission if I go. With an Army-Navy surplus blanket cut into a poncho and a Harvard book bag packed with maps, journals, colored pencils, and some slight nod to clothes. Exquisitely poised at the edge of the world, we slept in French ditches, Lindsay Castle ruins, a deserted Frankfurt house with peeling wallpaper, and with the 5,000-year-old dancing stones. We enter Stonehenge with the afternoon cue. As the summer sun sets, families and couples leave. Unseen in the stone shadows, we two girls silently speak to the first star. The moon comes full, our arms drawing the moon milk down, our feet sweeping the dirt grass up, the standing stones warm still from their day sun basking. Then our adolescent bodies cradle into a chosen hinge on the grassy fur above the well-packed earth. We sleep on hidden roofs, chambers for medicine people, chosen carefully, trained apart, stars, seated visions in this academy of druids. What do I ask for, wish for, on their roofs of learning, in this potent place? Just a deep-bellied thank you comes and sleep. Beneath us, now, these laminated boards, packed earth, stone, clay, bones, and tools. We stand on ancient roofs. Indigenous people drop bits, shards of living for twice the 5,000-year age of Stonehenge. Some carefully chosen medicine people surely shamans seeking star-seeded visions in a potent place. Their native tales say, holy ones are closer than we may think.
Listening to Singing by Anna Akhmatova. A woman's voice like the wind rushes, nocturnal it seems, moist and black. And as it flies, whatever it brushes,
changes and will not change back.
Its diamond shine comes to bathe and bless. Things are draped in a silver light.
it rustles its suggestive dress,
woven of fantasies, silken and bright. And the power that propels the enchanted voice displays such hidden might.
It's as if the grave were not ahead, but mysterious stairs beginning their flight, listening to singing. A woman's voice, like the wind, rushes. Nocturnal it seems, moist and black. And as it flies, whatever it brushes changes and will not change back. Its diamond shine comes to bathe and bless. Things are draped in a silver light. It rustles its suggestive dress, woven of fantasy, silken and bright. And the power that propels the enchanted voice displays such hidden might. It's as if the grave were not ahead, but mysterious stairs beginning their flight. A brief history. As often as I can, I visit the parents in their blue-walled, their rough, their handcrafted house on terrain that looks welcoming to dinosaurs. Edisto Island in infamous South Carolina, a tangled 68 square miles of swamp stench, Spanish moss and jungle, aggregate of rivers, silt and ocean sand, lone veined with tidal creeks, the Atlantic warmed and rising, mouths more land. The nearest city, an hour's drive. When a commodious bridge, a hurricane-proof shrimp boat accommodating high rise of a bridge, was built in 1993, Edisto's shut subsistence economy turned eagerly into a tourist destination with rentals and resorts. Helicopters now routinely spray to disrupt the mosquito cycle. Genetically engineered mosquitoes. What could go wrong? My mother bears her freckled forearm, ready to count the black hummers of heat. She calls in the usual report, none. This is nothing like 50 years ago, when with horrible fascination I watched mosquitoes cloud my bared arms, find purchase, swell, and burst against my skin. Edisto Indians rub themselves thickly with animal fat to keep the black clouds of high-toned bloodsuckers off. The indigenous ones left the island in the 1600s, yet so many arrowhead surface still break upward from the earth's hold. My father, 60 years ago, collapsed in the dirt where their house is now, likely from the heat. As the day swam into focus, he gazed into some shimmer of an Indian who welcomed him before blending into the shaking green world. It took time to find who could sell the buggy land. Just 10 cents an acre and done. Mosquitoes brought some respite for Edisto slaves. Malaria sent European blood fleeing up country for extended periods. West Africans remaining on the island, immune to malaria, cultivated traditional village life. I walk to the tidal creek through a ghost village. Some 300 years of Edisto-African comings and goings. As a girl and today, the welcome is personal. Mysterious benediction among shards of crockery, some of it blue. The oyster shell and brick chimney stubs suggest hearths, and a round brick well, hole covered long ago by some considerate soul, host boards limp with rot. Big-voiced frogs sound off like goats from their soft hollows under palmetto fans. This cloud of watchers, the woods smell quiet despite the hidden throng. So many souls, so many bird species. Each cedar, live oak, sassafras, myrtle, loblolly, pine, loud with squabbling and warbling. Cardinal zip just beyond, embroider invisible X's for my path. The smell is a texture of air, its quiet opens in me, as if I've been weeping, weeping. Sitting in spiky wheat grass and husky light near ooze brown banks, pink glazes the guzzling turtle green tide, exhale in gusty horse sighs. It's some silent hoofed herd blowing near, not horses, but sudden boulders shoulder the pink and green tide, porpoises 30 or more minding their supper. Purple dark thickening, whippoorwills begin, soon the owls, with no flashlight. It's starlight I depend on now to make my way back. Horsefly Sweet, a poem in 3 parts, in honor of Henry Martin, a Scottish pirate who dealt out discomforts, fought nobly, and ended his career in a watery grave. Horsefly Sweet. Wild oats in sand mixed with sandburrs, the horsefly burly, black, big as a plum, rode a sheaf of wheat, rode with sticky feet a riffling ride. Yellow plastic flip-flops screed the sand, broke the back of a burr, leaving itself embedded in yellow plastic. The flesh of the pink toes on the flip-flop called like a feast to the horsefly, called like a warm blood stew. He flew, following the toes, the yellow plastic snap popped, the pink toes grasping and grasping, the horsefly black because of plum beat its growling wings against the spitting sand, against the wind surge of pink legs. The girl slapped her threadbare towel on the cream bright sand. He bit a plump toe. She swatted and missed. He growled away, too. The girl threw herself into the day, churned towards the water, into the flash-scraping surf, and yonder, to blow salt spray in a wallow of wet. She pierced the salt fine, bobbing deep, head first, pushing arms wide, then tight against her sides, no, down, green shadows above, indigo sand roughing her chin. Bursting up, the girl bit the glittering air. The black burly horsefly, because the plum landed with sticky feet, clung to her forehead in an ecstasy of satisfied appetite, helped himself to more blood stew. The wet slap of water knocked him off, spinning and blind and on his back. Atop a lilting hill of water, sticky feet grasped water and air. He threw his fierce growling strength up and out, up, out. Each drop of water a stone's weight against him. He died a burly blood merchant sucking the salt tide. 3. With wrinkled toes blued by cold and fading light, the girl slipped like a sigh into her yellow plastic shoes, into her worn sand-gritted towel. Teeth chattering, she stabbed her feet into the sand, step after step toward the shaking sea oats, towards a wall of warmth, towards a remnant of the day's heat bristling on the black tarry road. She creaked into the rusty station wagon with its skin sticking upholstery. Dried salt laminated her sun-taut skin. Horsefly bites growled under the sunburn. Burly lumps pulsed and itched. Jostled by mixed discomforts, she huddled into herself, leaned into the drowsy car, hummed into the dark. Street. Out tall Tall windows past fine wrought iron shaped like vines. Daffodils are blooming somewhere, and the steep street tilts up unending, down unending Edinburgh. The few clouds are sinuous lavender on slate. Stout people in coats toil, lean back against air, or pushed by its invisible force are driven down, past my gaze with no sound of feet. Stone. In a Barcelona folktale, the Pyrenees are strewn with stones, soon to be released into their human form. Like a stone in a saddle of dirt, a hot rock in rum brown earth, close with seed-packed, green, pungent plant oil. Like a stone humming in earth's rum, a black pit spit of heat, fallen on feather and feather of earth flakes fallen, earth spit, peach stone, plum pit, lift me, I am the pit of your stomach. Stone. Like a stone in a saddle of dirt. A hot rock in rum brown earth, close with seed-packed, green, pungent plant oil. Like a stone humming in earth's rum, a black pit, spit of heat, fallen on feather and feather of earth flakes fallen. Earth spit, peach stone, plum pit, lift me, I am the pit of your stomach. Maybe a poet is feral, a wild beast mother with wide stance and hair stiff, mammal breath given to fierce, low-throated croonings, lullabies, and stories bared against the steady rush of time, as if voice could hold us still for a moment before we disappear around the dark curve, the sharp claw. Time. Vasilisa's mother. Russian Vasilisa was ordered to sort poppy seeds from dirt. Her life and her wish quest depended on it. The girl was protected by the voice of her ghost mama, who whispered, "The morning is wiser than the evening. Sleep." Vasilisa slept, yet the task was done. Greek Psyche had similar sorting jobs completed mysteriously while she slept. Vasilisa's mother. Scraped and stacked, every surface holds some hint of what it took to feed us, what it took to talk over heaped dishes, the please pass the salt each other. Leftovers lidded and tucked into dark cavities, now in the electric hum of sweet refrigeration. Stand in the wake of scattered eaters, their distant chitter comforting, the way when safe inside the outdoors is charming, with its crickets, tree-twigging breezes, a sudden bird. False comfort, fierce my children. False comfort, fierce my children.
False comfort, fierce my children.
Comfort my children.
False comfort, fierce my children.
Comfort my fierce children.
False comfort, fierce my children.
Fierce children, comfort.
False comfort, fierce my children.
Turn on the tap, hot. Lean into steam, into quiet. Hands pink in soap, slick heat. Many hidden centers. Familiar indents and edges, food bits float free. Use tight, tiny circles against a knob of hardened juices that loosened bleeds into the hole. Soap foam effervescence is not quite silence. Its fizzing sighs nuzzle on wrists and plate rims. How rich. Yes, wealthy. To rinse, let the waters drain away, gurgling in the lights out dark. Sisters. The Gray Sisters, with a single eye in common, are sentinels of the deep sea powers who can show themselves as women, as swans, or the white foam seen on the waves of the sea. These ancient divinities who rarely tell what they know are mentioned in the stories of the Golden Fleece, that golden-haired ram asked by the cloud nymph to save her children. Sisters, with one eyeball between them, crones in a cave, two sisters in the eyeless dark, one with sight that passes by each breath on. Are they patient with rhythm worked between them over the long warp of time, ages palm up to accept the weft of sight, the weight of eye? Or do they strain, breath quivering towards the moment, illumination again and again? And I in my own warp inch on with skin, not sight. With children, DNA spiraling secret stairways, steps of hidden ancestors. Yes, golden hair tangles. Yes, I ask for sight, sitting at the spool table spot of mud and roses, weeds and reeling leaves. Under the apple trees I didn't plant, the sky I didn't paint, feeling my way in an unearned mess, this hospitable place, wind whickering in high trees whose every leaf holds light up in open palms, while my heart fist beats its transience, eyeless as a ram's wool thread. Folding laundry. So silkies, Scottish mythical creatures said to live as seals in the sea, but they remove their skins to become human on land. Swan people the same. In swan feathers and seal hides, they are in their element, rich in their native powers. Folding laundry. Close in, maple leaves plume above the neighbor's roofline, its unending gray tar patch and grit, a determined lip above the upright, weary teeth of our worn fence. White of words, oil quiet, I wait, the pale sky cloudless. In here, behind glass, I'm ready for laundry. Blue, plastic bulging cage, no, basket. Lidless as the reaching sky, cloth flowering into my open hand, fabric well-worn, threading day shaken out, finger the shucked shapes, the swells for toes, a sag for elbows, nothing stiff, no beetle casing, but fine as discovered snake skin, wondrous, potent, as mythic pelts for slippery, silky, easy among coral and clam, for swan-feathered star folk muscling the sinuous air, yes, soft, wild skins of my people, fold them gently. Outside, the pale sky is cloudless, and maple leaves plume above roofline and fence. Inside, well-worn clothes lie empty, ready.
blushes there. Everywhere.